started. Kevin McCarthy, the Never Kevers.
The Biden administration certainly has not placed the American people first. Kevin McCarthy understands. He understands he must protect that speaker's gavel and abide the will of the American people. The decisions we make in the 118th Congress are critical to the future of our country. The decisions we make, the legislation we pass as a Republican majority must have the support of the American people. We have a crisis on every corner in America, and the American people are expecting Republicans to bring this much-needed change. We must come together today and implement that change. To those of you outside of Washington that are watching, Kevin McCarthy and this Republican majority understand your pain. We understand your pain. We feel it. We understand we must secure our southern border. We must unleash our energy sector and become energy independent.
What
we
would
must
change?
Curb inflation by...
What is going to change? There's people that are holdouts. Okay? There are people that are fucking holdouts.
At Hasanabi,
what would change in this ninth vote as opposed to the eighth one? I guess they're just going to keep doing it over and over again. I don't know.
And all this, my friends, on the Republican side, all this, we can do this, all while holding the Biden administration accountable. And the Washington bureaucrats who have infringed and abused the rights of the American people and their families long enough. Under Speaker McCarthy, they will be held accountable. They will be held accountable. So today, let's do what's in the best interests of the American people. Let's get to work. Let's elect Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. And at the direction of the Republican Conference, I advance the name of Kevin McCarthy as the next Speaker of the House for the 118th Congress.
I think we're fully saved and we're fully back. I hope. Yeah, sub badges are back. We're fully back. Jesus fucking Christ.
For what purpose does the gentleman...
No, sub badges are back. Everything is back. We're fully fucking back. I hate this goddamn platform sometimes. This is one of those instances where I just fucking... I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad, dude. Like, what the hell is this? Wait, did it F again? Oh my God, it's effing again.
Boys. As flex.
I'm fucking losing my mind. I'm losing my mind.
Just say no to Kivo.
Like, I don't know what to do here. I just don't know what to fucking do here.
To reduce our deficit and protect our environment. Democrats are unified to tackle the climate crisis, while Republicans are mired in their own leadership crisis. Madam Clerk, House Democrats are ready, willing, and able to get to work for the American people. We will do so under the leadership of Hakeem Jeffries, who has a plan for the American people. Therefore, as Vice Chair of the Democratic Caucus, I'm directed by the vote of our caucus to present for election to the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 118th Congress, Representative-elect from the state of New York, Hakeem Jeffries.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Montana rise?
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I would like to nominate the name of Byron Donalds to Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The gentleman is recognized.
Let me begin by stating that it is an absolute privilege to be here standing.
The Byron Donalds thing is such a fucking cynical Republican play because, like, they're literally doing it because he's black, okay? Straight up. Like, he's a second term, like, super green, okay? He wants a leadership position in the party. I'll just say it like it is, okay? Because I'm not a fucking, liberal who is going to be afraid of openly admitting that. No, the reason why they're doing it is because Hakeem Jeffries is black. So their counter is like, here is another black guy. Okay, that's literally why. As soon as he was originally put forward, this other dude, I forget which one of the dumb motherfuckers in the House of Representatives, came out and was like, "This is just like MLK. He would be the first ever." Black leader in either house, right? Like, that's a huge deal. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, so was Hakeem Jeffries, if you were going to think about it like that. Which is so transparent. Like, they don't give a fuck, brother. I mean, he's like a Tea Party guy, but still.
7
Changed
years.
my life, thank you.
Through drought and through flood, through world wars, and through a civil war. And some way, we return to this place year after year to serve the people of the United States of America. But unfortunately, over the past 15 years, the process that we use has been dramatically broken. The voices that were sent here to equally
28
to
months time,
equally
kind of like the number of
represent
times McCarthy will lose the speaker
each
vote.
of the 435 districts across this nation have become diminished. This through the consolidation of power into the hands
1
of
year,
the
let's go,
Speaker
Hassel.
and a fortunate few who happen to serve on the Rules Committee, which control every aspect of legislation that travels through this body. The debate and the discussion
Thanks for the good
has been
times.
all but eliminated, and the balance of us are left to vote yes or no. Those are our options, and that is what has led to the disintegration of the relationships that we see across this floor. That is not equal representation, which is guaranteed by our Constitution and expected by our constituents.
Dude, look at this. I mean, look, you want to understand how cynical they are? Here, look at this. Look, Hakeem Jeffries is black, right? He would be the first black speaker of the House, and you know my take on this shit, right? Like, I don't really give a fuck. It's Hakeem Jeffries is like not necessarily a great person in general. I mean, he has a genuine disdain for progressives across the board, who also are people of color overwhelmingly, but like he's just the fucking worst. But doesn't matter. He is still, going to be marginally better than Kevin McCarthy, obviously.
On Twitch,
but like, they see that Hakeem Jeffries is black, and they fucking go, "Oh yeah, well we got our own black guy." Okay.
Yesterday, we could have elected the first black Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Like, he knows it's so fucking slimy, grimy, scummy. It's so fucking, it's so slimy that, like, they're grinning while they're doing it, too. They're like, yeah, we have our own black guy, We have our own black man we could have put to the position. You know it. It's like, just don't give a fuck, dude. They just do not fucking care, brother. It is fucking obvious. By the way, every single time, and this is like unrelated to you guys, but every single time Twitch fucking poops, on my dashboard, I lose like monetization options. Like I lose the fucking ad break shit. You know what I mean? It's so stupid. I know you probably don't give a fuck, but like they want me to fucking stream a certain amount of hours. They want me to serve ads. And then they like, because the website is fucking broken, I can't even serve the ads. Like, what do you want me to do? How am I supposed to fulfill my contractual obligations if you can't even fucking do your goddamn website correctly? So frustrating, dude. It's like, anyway, we're good now, I think. I think we're good now. You guys are good, right? You can see everyone. The fucking entire platform is good now.
Hey Hasanabi, it's the wife and I's anniversary today and she loves listening to you scream about chuds. Can you wish Nadine a happy anniversary because I forgot it was our
Happy anniversary.
today?
Tell Twitch to get more resources out of AWS. It's just like blows my fucking mind.
Jupijaj. Have you ever worried that your vitriol might be a bad thing for political discourse?
I'm turning off TTS. The debate lords found it, dude. The debate lords figured out TTS is on. All right, we're turning it off. We had a good run. Yeah. I don't even know where that person is. Like, that dono is so long ago. Apparently it's the ad manager failing to serve the ad that's effing the stream. Wait, what? No fucking shot. No, there's no way. But it is weird that like on your dashboard you have buttons to serve ads, right? If you have like you have like monetization options here, I'll show you. So this is like the right side of my dashboard is 60-second ad, 3-minute ad, right? Raid, edit stream info, viewer geolocation, those are just like other basic bullshit that I don't really use. I have that, and usually I have predictions on here as well so that I can do Gamba. But like they literally fucking this goes away. I just had to re-add this onto the dashboard again. Did it F again? Is it effing again? Stop. There's no fucking way. It's effing again? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a mini F. It's a mini F. It's just so hard. It's hard to do the job. I'll be honest with you. It's so fucking hard to do this goddamn job if the platform is fucking pooping. Like, we're going to ride it out, but I just like... all right.
Bring it. Bring it. Yesterday, we could have elected the first.
Yeah, Twitch tweeted that they're aware. We are aware of the issues with the site, and our teams are actively working on a resolution. Thank you for your reports and patience. Whilst we work on it, we will keep you updated here. Rain in Cali, Twitch broken? Bro, it's not even California servers that are fucking twisted. Which, by the way, I gotta be honest with you, it is kind of surprising to me, okay? It is kind of surprising to me that it's been raining in Los Angeles. I don't want to fucking jinx it. I am so scared of jinxing this. But while it is raining in NorCal so much that it's flooding, and it's raining in SoCal, and in Los Angeles, when it rains, the infrastructure is so broken that you literally normally cannot actually operate, like electricity goes out and shit. We have been relatively stable so far. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been interesting. Anyway, like I said, this is super cynical. Byron Donalds is a super cynical pick. I mean, he's a Republican, so he's going to be shit at his job anyway, obviously. So but the reason why it's cynical is because, you know, that's not how it works. Data centers have ceilings and UPS backups, bruh. No, I'm not talking about Twitch going down because it's raining, but in Los Angeles, our infrastructure is so bad that when it rains, we do actually end up getting power outages pretty frequently. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Why are you trying to describe to me my fucking living quarters of my existence when it's something that I live every goddamn day, you know? I wasn't talking about data centers and shit. I'm talking about living in LA. Living in LA, people drive poorly. Our infrastructure cannot handle little bit of drizzle. It's crazy. Who the fuck would have guessed the fucking rep from Nebraska would be the voice of reason? Representative Don Bacon, who supports Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House, says we also have to be willing to consider working with the Democrats at some point. It's not happening. There's no fucking shot. Hold the line, Democrats. Don't be Democrats. You know what I mean? Don't be demon rats, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, as I said, these guys are going to be going for the 9th speaker vote at this point. A lot of fun has happened this morning. They're having fun with it, okay? And we are going to take a look at it. God, the term obese is a slur one is killing me. They only need 6 R's in order for Hakeem to win. You think compromising with the Democrats means they're going to fucking get Hakeem Jeffries? You're crazy. This one's pretty funny. This is yesterday. When you want to be a part of the crew so fucking bad, you're looking for... Dude, when you're looking for, you're the... you're the foreign exchange student, okay? And people don't really like you, and you just transferred to a new school, and you're just what group can I be a part of? And he decided he will go with the weirdos, okay? The weird alt kids. And even they're nah, dog, you're not with the team. Get the fuck out of here. Do you feel somewhat bad for him? Yes, I do, because he is my king. He is my GOAT. He deserves it. Never in the history of the United States of America have you ever had a man more deserving of the position that he got to. How did he get to that position? By lying, okay? And I, for one, respect that. I think lying to become a representative is more honest than what these other motherfuckers do. I love him. He's such a fun little character. Yeah, this infighting is fun to watch, but aren't you a little envious that Republicans at least have a small faction that is willing to put up a nominal fight against establishment status quo powers? Brother, there are a few things that I have tried to describe to you guys numerous times. What we have been watching unfold is unironically a thing that cannot happen in the exact same way on the Democratic Party. Why can't it happen on the Democratic Party? Because the Republican Party has to listen to its base. They have always been listening to their base, okay? And a good thing that they do, and a reason why they can do that is because obviously there's material reasons, like they can literally listen to their base and like focus on the homophobia, bigotry, racism, that sort of stuff, because that doesn't offend the pre-existing power constructs, like, the machine of capitalism. It doesn't, right? So they can go further and further to the right, but you can't go further and further. Abortion, yeah, what do you mean? That's a great example. What? Abortion, bro? That's a great example of that. What the fuck do you mean? This country was able to limit in an insane way, in a completely undemocratic way. This country was willing and able to limit women's civil liberties before giving people health care. Okay, Medicare for all is around the same popularity. If you ask people, like, do you think the government should take care of your health care? It's around the same fucking popularity as, like, not undermining women's civil liberties as it pertains to getting an abortion, especially in the first trimester. And yet one is an impossibility, it seems, and the other happened already. So one thing you need to understand is that there is a major difference with respect to what Republicans can get away with, because Republicans never offend the actual pre-existing hierarchical powers.
And fundamentally needs change. I'm here to get this right.
That's why all these dumb motherfuckers that get up there screech about, like, we need fundamental change. And then when you ask them what the change is, like, what do you want to change? They're like, oh, we shouldn't fund the government. We should let America default on its debt. It's like unimaginable economic collapse is what they are looking for. Okay, sick. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing. You're not a serious person. You're just basically like throwing shit at a wall, seeing what sticks. And you can get away with doing that. You can get away with doing that when you're a fucking Republican. You can get away with being as far right as possible. Whereas when you're a Democrat and you actually have goals, like tangible policy goals, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Let's see you're a progressive holdout, right? Like AOC and the others were supposed to be in the force the vote process. You see these guys failing already. You see the Republicans just basically making a fool of themselves. And you're like, well, I wish we did that for the Democratic Party. Okay. What was the goal? There was no alternative speaker. These guys don't have one either, which is fucking hilarious. There was no reason. Like, they were going to hold out until you forced the vote on Medicare for all. Okay. And then everyone was going to vote against Medicare for all. What happened? You were going to undermine the popularity of Medicare for all in the eyes of the American population, as the media was going to go fucking balls to the wall on how Medicare for all is the reason why Democrats can't get together, because you're forgetting that fundamentally American Normans who are like not that interested in politics don't like this kind of thing happening. Okay? They don't like Congress not working. They don't like that. So if you force the vote on Medicare for all and then like the Democratic Party voted against it across the board, what do you do? What do you do? What happens in that situation? Nothing. That's my point. Nothing. Nothing would happen.
Call the roll.
Anyway, you get support for third parties. You are delusional if you think that would happen. I'm sorry. You are delusional. Like, that's not happening. Dude, you are not living in the real world if you think that is the case, okay? You're just not. You're in a hyper-specific bubble where you think that, like, you and your fucking Discord group are going to be able to launch a third-party momentum. Like, it's not. It's not happening. Which is part of the reason why I don't even talk about, like, I don't even cover electoral politics beyond, like, the Democratic Party fucking up, beyond the Republican Party fucking being crooks and awful. But on top of that, what I talk about always is outside of the immediate, like, back and forth Washington, D.C. politics, organizing, okay, creating labor momentum, creating a network that actually can provide adequate pushback. You have to do that. In the absence of such a thing, you are not going to be able to legitimately push the Democratic Party to do the right thing. Okay? So basically what you're saying is the only voters who matter are Republicans because shit like this is going to be required for any real progressive to get some power in D.C.? Yes. The only voters that matter, well, not the only voters, but like Republicans or extra right-wing Republicans that are a little bit more right-wing than the other Republicans can seemingly flex and do a show of force this way because of the way that the Republican Party is designed. The Republican Party is designed to make itself look a little bit marginally different than the Democratic Party, even though there is bipartisan compromise on issues that pertain to the material realities of every American. You're not getting health care. Your tax dollars are mostly going to like the police and not to fix the fucking potholes. You're not getting funding for your education. There is rampant inequality in this country. You're never getting fucking socialized medicine. And we're spending gazillions of dollars on Ukraine and also all of our fucking allies because the military-industrial complex is the most important industry, the most important sector for the American economy. Okay? That's just the truth. And then you have other sectors before they move on to the defense contracting side, like Silicon Valley and Hollywood, that are, you know, somewhat prominent. And that's kind of it, though. And those guys are bullied as being Democrat for the most part anyway, even if they're not. But ultimately, the amount of funding that they get, from the federal government is marginal in comparison to defense contractors because that is our main sector. That's our main industry. So you always have this. You are always going to have this. You are always going to have this kind of fucking attitude no matter what happens. And in that chaos, or rather in that like bipartisan rigidity towards continuing America's like endless thirst for extraction of natural resources and undermining the developing nations, undermining the third world, the global south. You have to make it seem like at the domestic level, there's differences between two parties. That's where the wedge issues come in. And that's where you arrive at, you know, trans bathrooms, undermining gay people, undermining women. And it's like neither party ultimately gives a shit about either of those things. The Democratic Party makes it seem like they care about women and want to fight for them, but it's just a method for them to, you know, win votes and get people to vote for them. And the Republican Party makes it seem like it's cool to undermine women and their civil liberties, and they'll do things to serve that so that they can get the base of support riled up and vote for them. Okay? But ultimately, because this country is fundamentally slanted to the right as a hyper-capitalist dystopian shithole, okay, in many ways, because of that reality, Republicans can get away with being further and further right, but Democrats, as a party, as a unit, play one fundamental role, and that role is to be a bottleneck for leftist momentum. Squash out any kind of leftist momentum you can have and undermine any kind of like genuine progressive legislation that could ever have a shot at winning. That's it. And that is precisely the reason why you can't have the leftist members of the Democratic Party at this stage play the role of forcing the vote without having any sort of outside material power, okay? Outside organizing, like unions, labor unions, a coalition of people that have some level of political power to say, no, fuck that. We're not doing that. We're not going to fucking vote for you if you do keep doing this shit. Okay? The reason why progressives don't use their leverage is because they have no leverage. They don't. No communism bad equals bad, nice take. Is that what you understood? I mean, I'm not talking about that right now. I'm not talking about a moneyless, classless, borderless society, which would be great. I just literally said it would be nice if we could have healthcare, and you said no communism bad, nice take. Are you that fucking stupid that you think there's communism happening in Norway? Do you think that communism is happening in all these fucking social democracies that still have a litany of other issues? Of course, okay, they're still capitalist. They still, basically are, taking advantage of the wealth extraction and hyper exploitation of the third world to keep their economies going. But do you find that to be a communist nation? Do you think Canada is fucking communist? Are you literally that delusional? Are you that fucking stupid? Because if you are, maybe you should shut the fuck up and learn a thing or two in here. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, dude. It is so frustrating to see just an entire nation of dumb babies, okay, that have been brain diseased into thinking like any kind of social program is literally communism and communism is bad, so social programs are bad. That's so fucking stupid. Anyway, but the reason why I'm paying attention to this is not because this is like a meaningful moment or anything. We're paying attention to it because it's fun and funny. It's funny that this is happening. That's it. That is the main reason. Okay? It's fun and it's fucking funny that it's happening. Doesn't matter who the fuck the Speaker of the House is if you're thinking about it in terms of like whichever Republican that gets there is going to do the same exact shit no matter what. However, it's pretty funny that they're having such a hard time whipping votes for Kevin McCarthy. That's it. That's the only reason why we're watching. And by the way, he's going to lose again.
Sort of watching the show, watching Republicans.
This is the ninth vote,
as they say, saying that, hey, they just need to figure this out themselves, or would you be doing something differently?
Well, I think it's a little bit beyond the popcorn point now. I think that, people are restless. People are concerned this may go on. Look, I will say this to you. Tomorrow is the second anniversary of January 6th. If I were the Republicans, I would not want this to be the image tomorrow.
That's awesome. Why? No, it's great. Yeah, this is January 6th, baby. January 6th, 2 Electric Boogaloo. You know what I'm saying? Love that. I love that for them. You know, they're doing the exact same shit. Just effectively, just a fundamentally meaningless way to obstruct process that is purely symbolic. It's awesome.
In fact, now we're looking at even giving up on the possibility of investing in future draft picks. You know, the analogy to baseball or football, he's actually given up the team when he is saying he's going to withdraw from the field in political battle in terms of primaries and not have his super PAC involved. That means he's going to stay out of the business of picking future members of the House and future draft picks. So this is really, really turned around in terms of the Republicans' ability really to have moderates within, even modicum of moderates within the House Republican caucus. So it really is hard for me to see what else Kevin can give up at this point, except not being the Speaker. And I think that's just something Kevin has to come to terms with himself. And he's delivered for the Republicans. He's delivered the majority, and yet it's like Moses. He's brought us to the promised land. He may not be able to get there himself.
And what's the point of being Speaker, Joe, if you got all your power?
If you're giving it away, in particular, that power is gone. You're absolutely right. I don't know who would want that job at that point. It becomes very feckless, and the ability actually to move and to create legacy to some degree becomes virtually impossible, especially when you look at the fact that we have a number of issues coming up, like the debt ceiling. Eventually, there'll be another spending package bill that will have to be passed, where I think McCarthy, whoever the speaker is going to be, will have to negotiate with some Democrats because there are Republicans who simply will not support the lifting of the debt ceiling or a spending package that they believe is unreasonable.
And if Kevin McCarthy gets the speakership and he doesn't have the respect that he needs, how are you going to pass anything? How are you going to get anything through? How are you going to deal with difficult votes?
Yeah, I think the one thing that Speaker Pelosi had, which I think she's highly regarded for, and rightfully so, was her power of persuasion. That she built those coalitions within the Democratic caucus. She was also a member's member. She was a person of the House. She came up through the ranks. And I think I've heard some pundits speaking about this, and it's very true. Kevin was not one of those types of members. He was in leadership in his second term. Does he really know what it's like to fight to become a chair of a committee? What goes into all that? Has he had those experiences? Can he relate to the members of his conference? And I think he's having a difficult time with that. That's being, I think, demonstrated right now.
So,
dude, I'm gonna watch the Andrew Callahan NPR clip. If you send it to me one more time, I'm putting you in the fucking spaceship. Okay, I'm venting you. I'm throwing you out the vent. You're out of the airlock. Okay. Like, do you think I'm not familiar? Do you think I'm unaware? Do you think you're sending it? Come on, man. So many people have sent it today.
Policy perspective. But long term, we've talked about just the power that the speaker would hold or lack thereof. So
small government libertarian Andy's doing more to destroy the American empire than MLs and anarchists ever could. Respect. I mean, yeah, if you're watching from the fucking third world, I guess, like, this is great for you. It's just like the Republican Party is basically fucking destroying the American government from within. So that's cool. But like, also, it doesn't really matter. They're not destroying the American government. They're just turning the American government into just like a funding vehicle for the military. That's it. Like, these guys make it seem like, oh man, it's so bad that we're sending money, endless amounts of weapons and money to Ukraine. But like, they don't give a fuck. They're going to keep doing that. They're going to keep doing that. And they always do. Okay? It is already, by the way. So like, if you're living in the third world and you're thinking like, oh, the American empire is crumbling, shouts out to the motherfucking, what do you call it? Shouts out to the motherfucking Republican Party. Like, they're going to kill you. Sorry, I just saw another tweet. Shout out to the American military industrial complex for creating endless war in our time. I mean, it's never stopping. It's never ending. More like in the Capitol Hill, am I right? Yeah, which is why, like, look, that powerlessness is partially the reason why I advocate for the things I advocate for, like the top of the hour ad break and avoidance mechanisms, right? Like, because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And obviously, like, you don't want to see that ad break. You're like, fuck that. I don't want to see it. Well, don't worry. You have the power. You can, for $5 or for free, avoid the top of the hour ad break if you want an uninterrupted broadcast experience. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. That's another way that avoid the top of the hour ad break. Let me up. Thank you for the 7 gifted subs, as a matter of fact. That's one way to do it. If you're lucky, you can do that. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. That was the worst ever, man. Dude, you can't say it's the worst ever if you're, like, actually pissed off because it was a good segue. Like, you're defeating the purpose of the rating. God of Fist, thank you for the 5. Get the subs. How do we get enough people to care to fix this government? I don't know. Sakura Gore, old Bobby, thank you for the 5. Get the subs. Sorry for poop socket. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs. Dude, you gotta work. You gotta work your way up the chain, okay? You gotta get people where they work. You gotta fucking help them understand the conditions that they're in currently. Like that's the starting point for all this, I think. That's how you start the process. That's why labor organizing is key. That's why it's very important. People need to understand that they have the capacity to make changes in their immediate lives. But that starts with organizing, that level of unity and like a little bit of autonomy that you get back from your workplace that ultimately creates a network of unions that will be able to flex worker muscle as it pertains to holding the Democratic Party accountable. Without that, you have nothing. That won't happen in a beta male society. And then you got guys like this. Yeah, dude. It's because we're a beta male society. If getting a solid education, getting kids culture from the get-go is what worked to like genuinely change people's attitudes, then so many motherfuckers from Yale would not be going to the CIA, okay? Like, that's not how that works, my friend. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not just education. Like, especially when education has a neoliberal slant regardless. Like, when you go to college, you're basically learning things that are moving you away from... Like, you're basically learning a bunch of really great things, okay? I'm a fan of college. I think college is great. Totally on board with it. But beyond the things that you learn in college, like some of the things that they teach you in college is also that like the system is fine and designed the way that it is. And also, you know, the two-party hold that we are experiencing in the United States of America is because there are true differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And like, you know, it's still dependent on your major, but like overall, the basics that you're educated in school is still going to have the same slant that this entire system has. We live in a white supremacist, racist, patriarchal society, and a lot of that is going to be demonstrated. A lot of those values are going to be reinforced in school and what you're learning. That's why there are black chatters in here who don't know about black history. Like, it doesn't even matter what your background is. You know what I mean? One of the things that's actually wild is, like, for example, so many artists, poets, thinkers, scientists are socialist and have been socialists historically, very open about their perspective. Einstein being like a very famous example. This motherfucker was such a socialist that he wrote routinely about socialism. Like, it's not hidden. Martin Luther King is a great example. Democratic socialist, like definitely openly a socialist. And yet you never hear that from them. You never hear that about their background. You never, ever hear that. You have to understand there's got to be a reason for it, right? Why is it that all of these figures that we fucking praise who have this kind of background, why is it that is never mentioned? Well, there's a reason, because we live in a capitalist, right-wing institutional education system. That's it. And it does not benefit. Explaining that would undermine the right-wing Red Scare propaganda. Anyway, but once you recognize all of that, you can try to make meaningful changes in your immediate life. You can try to make meaningful changes in your... Do you think Jeffrey's another Pelosi? Yes, 100%. You can try to make meaningful changes in your immediate life and then also have fun with stuff like this. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, you should have fun. Everyone should have fun. I like having fun. This is, making fun of the Republican Party for their failure to bring in the Speaker of the House who's gonna be opening up all the fucking Hunter Biden penis inspection committees. It's fun. It's fun for me. Yeah, I know. It's probably my least leftist position is that I am an individual who likes to have fun. It's true. It makes me reactionary. Fun, the concept of fun in a capitalist, bigoted patriarchal society is bourgeois decadence. It is inherently reactionary. Okay?
Or at least give their vote to Kevin McCarthy if they'd never voted for him in the past. And then there are other members who say under no circumstances will they vote for Kevin McCarthy. The question that Kevin McCarthy confronts now is how many of those members are there that say they will not vote for him under any circumstances? And if there's more than 4, which is the number he can't afford to lose, what does he do about them, Kira?
What does he do, right? He's pretty much given her. What did Donna Brazile said?
Yeah, by the way, we're record-breaking with the 9th ballot assured. This is now tied for the 8th longest speaker election in history, tying the 1923 vote that ended Frederick Gillett winning on the 9th ballot. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's go. Let's get those goddamn numbers up. We still have Nathaniel Banks, obviously, with 133. It's going to be really hard to achieve. Howell Cobb in 1849 was 63. William Pennington... Oh my God, Smackington the Pennington. Oh my God, Yodiland. They were not ready for the Yodiland, motherfucker. That's why they took 44 ballots. John Taylor, 22. Philip Barber, 12. Robert Hunter, 11. John Bell, 10. And now we're at the Frederick Gillett point. We're moving up the ranks, baby. America is back in a big fucking way. How do you feel about Erdogan? I despise him, okay? I can't say the way I truly feel on top of how much I despise him because it would be TOS. Anyway, I'm confused on how ballots work. What do you mean? They're just like they keep running up the fucking numbers, brother. What the hell? Feeling like Paris right now? What is this? Can you give us a short recap on how many votes we've had? We're on the 9th one, and on day 1 there were 19 holdouts. The number of holdouts have increased, as a matter of fact, over the course of the past 3 days. We're on the 9th vote at this point, and it seems like the number of holdouts that are no longer interested in voting for Kevin McCarthy are increasing. It's a real... What's that famous movie about jury duty? Like, what, 12 Angry Men? It seems like it's happening. It's like a 12 Angry Men situation. So, for the record, again, for all the force the voters out there, even if, like, let's say Matt Gaetz is, like, successful, right? Matt Gaetz and Lobo and them are successful, right? Understand that ultimately, okay, what Matt Gaetz is advocating for and what all these shitheads are advocating for is no different than one another. Do you understand? It's not any different. Like, it doesn't matter who the fucking Speaker of the House is. Whereas the left, the progressive left, okay, if you take what they say seriously, have a fundamentally different worldview and a fundamentally different interest than the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, okay? They are actually in contention with one another. They're actually fighting against one another versus the hyper right wing, the extreme right wing, okay? And the rest of the Republican Party, which is pretty fucking far right regardless, are not actually fighting. They're fighting on like immaterial, marginal, aesthetic shit. That's it. CNN, House reconvenes with still no speaker elected. McCarthy wants to no vote tonight, says talks progressing, which was a lie. Twitter files, what we've learned about the FBI. Tucker Carlson literally just like takes shots at Kevin McCarthy and then turns around and covers like nonsensical bullshit. The person who's been doing the Lord's work, as a matter of fact, is not Tucky Boy. It's actually Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity is pissed, okay? He's fucking pissed. He's royally pissed. He's like, Hannity hot seat time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's watch. Here is Sean Hannity giving it to Lobo a little bit, Lauren Boebert.
Hi, time now tonight for the Hannity hot seat, and tonight we're joined by a Republican who opposed Kevin McCarthy's bid for Speaker on every single ballot. That is Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and she says negotiations with McCarthy.
Why wouldn't the progressive wing just do this to secure more committee positions? In the same situation, I would hope the progressive wing would fight it. That's really interesting you said that, because the progressive wing did get committee positions. So you're literally describing what AOC should have done, while simultaneously living in a world where AOC did do that before even holding out the vote. They did that. They literally did that. They did. They got a fuckload. That's why Ilhan Omar was on the fucking Foreign Policy Committee, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Why would Ilhan Omar, a person who is like fundamentally against the military-industrial complex, sit on any matters involved with foreign policy? Sit on a committee that touches foreign policy. They did. They, as young as they are, as new as they are, they 1,000,000% got a fuckload of committee positions. They did. It was just dealt with. You never told that chatter, so they didn't know. No, I did. I've talked about this before during the Force the Vote saga. The Force the Vote saga was not about like holding out so you can get committee positions. The Force the Vote saga was about like forcing the vote, literally, for Medicare for all, so that it could be fucking eviscerated by the Democratic Party.
Have been ongoing since the summer, but that her demands are not being taken seriously. Now, meanwhile, Kevin McCarthy's camp is now reportedly trying to determine which of the 20 votes against him are because of a...
As if the committee makes a difference to the MIC. It doesn't. You're absolutely correct on that. You're right. You're right on that. Tackling America's foreign policy or its military-industrial complex is literally like the most difficult part of this process. I would say that America, okay, as an institution, as an organization, as a country, is more likely to get fucking socialized medicine than destroy the engine that fuels capitalism, global capitalism, which is American imperialism, which is the military-industrial complex. So yes, I think that, and I believe that it's insanely difficult to even get Medicare for all. Okay, I think it's insanely difficult to get Medicare for all even. So that is even harder than that.
Policy disagreement versus a personal vendetta. Here now with reaction is Congresswoman Boebert. Now, Congresswoman, you tweet, Town Hall quoted you today saying the president, you said complimentary things about President Trump, needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes. It's time to withdraw. Let me turn the tables, Congresswoman. Kevin McCarthy has 202, 3 votes. Your side has 20. So if I'm going to use your words and your methodology and your math, isn't it time for you to pack it in and your side to pack it in, considering he has over 200 and you have 20?
Sean, I understand the frustration. I promise you, but
I'm not frustrated.
You
didn't answer my question.
And we are hearing.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Don't put it in the news. Don't write it in the newspaper that I'm mad. I'm not mad. Even though he does fucking own her a little bit, which is pretty fun. I mean, he's right. He's right. Lobo is also, low-hanging fruit. Like, she's not even able to fucking... God... She's not able to defend her positions, which is pretty funny because it's like they have no positions. They have nothing, which is why it's kind of funny to watch them, it's funny to watch the Republican Party and the machine, okay? The Republican Party machine crumbling in and of itself as they fucking freak out that like the guys that they put into positions of power because they went too far fucking to the right are literally just saying, no, we're going to do more Republican shit. This is what I'm supposed to do. I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. My job is to obstruct, so now I'm obstructing. And they're like, hold on, that's not how you're supposed to obstruct. They love obstructing so much, they are obstructing themselves. Why are they holding up the vote? There is literally, look, I tell you when I know things. I tell you what my speculations are. I unironically cannot comprehend why they're doing this. Because ultimately, okay, it doesn't matter who the speaker is. Do you understand? It doesn't make sense. When you ask them personally why they're doing it, their answers are fucking psychotic. Their answers literally are like, we want the American debt to default. Like, what? What are you saying right now? That's insane. We want bedlam and chaos? That's psychotic. That's just like an insane thing. Honestly, it's because they just personally probably don't like Kevin McCarthy. And that's it. It's got to be like a personal vendetta. Because like they literally, because Kevin McCarthy is a cuck, okay? And he has personally given like a lot of concessions already. And the more concessions they get, and I can't believe I'm saying this again, but like Jesse Waters said it perfectly. But the more concessions they get, the more they want, because it's not about concessions. It's just they don't want Kevin McCarthy to be the Speaker of the House. And I think it's motivated by personal vendetta for the most part. Now, what's funny about this entire process, okay? What's funny about this entire process, ultimately, is just like Jesse Waters said, and I'm using his fucking awful person. I'm using this awful person because his analogy is correct. This is a hostage situation, and the demands of the hostage holders is to kill the hostage. So you're in a bind. Like, you can't actually fix it. He's right. And friend of the show, Jamel Bowie, says, at this point, if you're a never Kevin type, why would you ever stop? You're getting tons of media attention, and you get to humiliate an enemy again and again. What more could you want? Also, never Kevin sounds like what you say after someone says to you that we need to talk about Kevin. Anyway, there's not a single thing to incentivize governing for congressional Republicans, and many things that incentivize chaos, including the fact that Kevin McCarthy will do anything just to make it stop. Yeah. It's it. That's it. It's pure spite. It's pure spite. It's pure spite. And it is the way that the Republican Party has built itself over the course of the past couple of years, where especially like accelerated in the past, I would say, oh God, is it effing again? Please stop. Don't say that. Just don't say that to me right now. I can't even fucking tweet. I can't even write anything. I'm like trying to write and it's not letting me write. It's not faking. It's not faking. It's like writing. I'm not even tweeting right now. I'm not even writing. I'm not even writing in the chat, and it's still like sending my chats. Look at this. I hate this so much. I hate it so much. It might be regional. I don't know. I'm not taken down. Oh, fuck me, dude. God damn it. It's broken. Hold the line. Just hold the fucking line, okay? It's not 4 people. It's not 4 people. We went from 44K to 24K, chat. It's not just fucking 4 people, okay? It's thousands of people that go down. I can't even see my own fucking stream, okay? I think like North America is just cooked. About the rage quit law? No, I'm not going to, but it is frustrating. It is so frustrating when like my job is to do this and I can't fucking do my job. Like I'm angry because I want to inform people, I want to explain shit to people, and I can't. And it's got to be like an AWS problem or something. Because like apparently Riot is like cooked too. Riot servers are fucking cooked as well. So I assume it's an AWS problem. Anyway, we're going to continue. I'm just going to fucking continue. As though everyone can hear me and everyone can see me. Fuck my life, dude. Yeah, it's like if you watch on your TVs, you can watch me, but like on your PlayStation 5 or on your mobile apps, you can't sometimes. It's weird. Or on desktop, you can't sometimes. It's weird. All right, let's just continue.
Many people who are still voting with Kevin McCarthy who are very supportive of what we're doing, and they're cheering us on. So there are more for us than are against us, and they are waiting for Kevin to cave.
Okay.
You know, the American people are certainly frustrated by...
I'm frustrated by you not answering a direct question. You said to President Trump, you said earlier today that President Trump needs to tell Kevin McCarthy, you don't have the votes.
We need to come up with a consensus candidate to elect a Speaker of the House.
You don't have the votes, and it's time to withdraw. He has 203. Your side has 20. Why is it time for him to withdraw and not you when he has so many more votes?
Well, Sean, he needs 218, and he does not have 218. We've been trying to work this out in private, as you said, for months. But Kevin McCarthy didn't even want to listen to us until his disappointing midterms. We all want a unified party, but this isn't chaos. It's a functioning constitutional republic. When everything is said and done,
I like the
House Republicans will be stronger and better prepared to lead than we ever have before. I believe that this is what our founding fathers intended, and this is showing that our votes are working. Our votes aren't just a cast
Congresswoman, I'd ask you not to filibuster. Yesterday you voted and Jim Jordan was your choice. Today it was Byron Donalds who was your choice. Tomorrow, I don't know who you're going to vote for. But the bottom line is you still only have 20 votes. Let me ask you this. Kevin McCarthy...
I think we're proving that we're open to a menu of options. Many different people.
You're proving that 20 people don't...
Yeah. Sean Hannity here actually brings up a really good point. Okay? I watched this and I could not believe it. Where he is going to turn around and ask a very good question right here.
Don't want Kevin McCarthy at this time. But my question to you is this.
We are proving that there are many options.
My question to you is, did you support Kevin McCarthy's commitments to America? And do you...
This is not the question. This is just like him basically pandering, saying like, oh, do you care about Kevin McCarthy's policies? Like, why are you against America or whatever, right? Like, which is basic stuff. Let her cook.
Believe that he's going to follow through on his written promises?
Not this part. Here, it's coming up after this.
His commitment to America is not as strong as I would like it to be. And we have been working on the rules to change.
It's like, what are you saying? Like, what do you mean Kevin McCarthy's commitment to America is not as strong as I want it to be? So what is it? What's your commitment to America? Like, I'm not even defending Kevin McCarthy. Like, fuck Kevin McCarthy. But like, also, the fuck do you mean? You guys are the same. Like, you guys are the same pieces of shit, straight up. What are you talking about?
The structure of how Washington, D.C. is run and operated. Sean, you know more than anybody how broken this town is. This is something that we have an opportunity to rebuild, to restructure.
Congresswoman,
and it takes the right tools and the right leadership to do that.
Border security, energy independence, debt reduction,
and when
earmarks.
we asked him to put forward the Texas-built border plan, he refused.
And then, well, he's willing to bring back the exact plan that worked under Donald Trump. And then he also has pledged investigations into the FBI and DOJ, the influence peddling of the Biden family, the origins of COVID and Anthony Fauci, the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
My question is, right speaker.
Do you support?
And it's not going to be Kevin McCarthy.
Do you support all of those agenda items he promised?
Of course I do, but I do not trust Kevin McCarthy at this point to deliver on those promises, especially when I go into good faith negotiations with him, and then he comes out and lies about what those conversations were, saying that members demanded
that's your characterization. He's not here to answer.
We want.
So let me ask you this.
He's already apologized to one member in private because he won't apologize to him in public for spreading lies.
Wait a minute. Walgreens executive says maybe we cried too much last year about theft? Stop. Where are all the Redditors now? Where are all the Redditors? Where is everybody? Where are all the people that fucking screamed at me because they were like, Hassan, you're just pro-theft. You're pro-theft. You're a piece of shit. When I said they're just lying. They're lying and greatly overstating the concerns they have over retail theft. That's crazy. That's so interesting. Is that another fucking pre-watch Piker moment? Shocked. Shocked to fucking find out. Shocked. The company made investments in the private security guards, but they've proven largely ineffective, Kehoe said. Maybe we cried too much last year, Chief Financial Officer James Kehoe said. Walgreens acknowledged it may have overblown concerns about theft in their stores after shrinkage stabilized over the past year. The top Walgreens executive on Thursday acknowledged the company may have overblown concerns about thefts in their stores after shrinkage stabilized over the last year. During an earnings call, the company's chief financial officer, James Kehoe, said shrinkage was about 3.5% of sales last year, but that number is now closer to the mid-twos. He also said the company would consider moving away from hiring private security guards. Maybe we cried too much last year, Kehoe said. We've stabilized, he added, saying the company is quite happy with where we are. Shrinkage is the difference between a company's recorded inventory on their balance sheet and its actual inventory. It primarily accounts for items that were shoplifted, but also includes inventory that was damaged, lost, or stolen by employees. Over the last 2 years, Walgreens has been raising the alarm about increased theft. As a result, it hired private security guards and locked up merchandise so it can't be accessed without a store associate. Shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Shocked, I tell you, dude. Kehoe said the company has spent a fair amount to crack down on the thefts, but acknowledged the private security companies they've hired have been largely ineffective. These guards can do very little but call law enforcement or hold a suspect until police arrive. We've put in incremental security in the stores in the first quarter. Actually, probably we put in too much. We might step back a little bit from that. The company's using more law enforcement as opposed to private security, he added. Shrinkage is such an abused metric that retail used to hold it up as theft, even though that shit is just broken or lost during shipping. How many times? Wait, getting my rebuttal ready, pal. How many times Walgreens robbed ever on Earth and include unarmed? Yeah, just Just watch out. Oh, wait till I'm done Googling this shit, dude. I'm going to fucking destroy you, bitch. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I got to text my account manager. Sorry. No, it's like, it's fine currently. They fully took the monetization out of quick actions, by the way. Like, you can't even, I think it's fine at this moment, but it doesn't look like it's fine. Like, look, I can't see my own. This is what it looks like. Currently, this is what my dashboard looks like. 0 sessions, 0 viewers, 0 followers, 0 bit rate. None of these are on. Try an F5 refresh. Oh, shit, it's back. Okay, nice. Why the fuck did that not work before? Let's see. Oh, it's back. The monetization options are back again. Dude, it's weird. It's so fucking weird, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Holy shit, 0 viewers. The left truly watches Aiden now. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the fucking Sean Hannity evisceration. I'm sorry that I skipped through to that moment of leftist gloating, as always.
About that meeting.
Here's my question. So you and others fought hard for a motion to vacate, with only 5 Republicans able to trigger that motion. Kevin McCarthy didn't want to give it to you, but he did give it to you in the end. To me, that's kind of an insurance policy. Can I finish?
But he didn't all the way. He did
Wait
not.
a minute.
Sure.
He gave you what you asked for. And one of the things that I've been asking people, I'm asking you tonight, who is your final choice for speaker? And if you can't get more than, let's say...
This is the great question. This is the great question. Here, this is actually the... This is like surprisingly solid reporting.
Who is your final choice for speaker?
They will never do this for anything meaningful, okay? Journalists will never do this for anything meaningful. They will only do this because Sean Hannity is upset currently.
Speaker, and if you can't get more than, let's say, 30 votes, will you follow your own advice that you were asking Donald Trump and withdraw?
There are certainly names that are being floated around, and hey, maybe I should nominate President Donald J. Trump tomorrow. But Sean, I did watch your show last night, and I want to set the record straight on this motion.
We're going to pick Jim Jordan one day, Donald's the other day, Trump the next day?
This motion to vacate, because he did not give us this motion to vacate. I'm showing there's a whole consensus of other candidates that could be nominated. I'm
trying to understand how you're thinking here.
This motion to vacate, Sean, you need to understand that Kevin McCarthy did not give us my hard red line.
He fought for it.
And this is a century-old, no, he did not.
No, I know that he made the promise.
That was written by Thomas Jefferson.
I know he made the promise
since
because
1837 with 5 members, Sean, with 5 members, not one member to offer the motion to vacate.
So my question is,
there's who wrote this rule? She said 1837. So here's what I don't understand, okay? Like, Thomas Jefferson died in 1826. Okay? Let's say that's your talking point, which is like, this has been a rule in place since like 1837. Like, what are you fucking lying about? Like, what did you not do any kind of research to like cook up a good enough fucking counter to this shit? Like, you've been on... Even if you're doing this specifically for TV slots, okay, you're doing this to like build your own brand as like a truth-telling, bold Republican patriot who's going against the institutional powers, right? You had a month to cook up good-ass fucking talking points. Why are you winging it? It doesn't make sense. Why? Like, especially someone like Lobo, who is literally fucking so stupid. Like, she's not smart. She is not smart at all. I don't understand how I guess she like misspoke. And we're not even talking about why we should be listening to fucking slavers, but also we're not even talking about whether or not like being able to vote out a speaker of the House of Representatives with 5 votes is a bad thing or not, cuz like it kind of isn't the worst thing. I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? Like I want to agree with some of these demands. If you're going to set term limits, love that. That's perfect. It's not going to happen. This is not the best way to do it. But like it does give each individual representative more power. Okay? But like even when I'm supposed to be fucking agreeing with this person, okay, because of like the things that they're supposedly advocating for, I can't. And it's not because like it's not because like, oh, I'm too caught up on the fucking aesthetics or whatever. It's like, dude, you don't give a shit. And 2, that's not the reason. That's not the reason why you're actually fucking causing a commotion. And 3, you didn't even fucking research what you said.
Nancy Pelosi's
term limit increase, regulatory capture. Oh my God. I have heard all the fucking lobbyist jargon on this, okay? You are unironically advocating for lobbyist shit. Listen, man. Listen. I get it. You're going to say because of term limits, if you put term limits here, I know what the steel man is, okay? Term limits ultimately are something that lobbyists definitely want. Because like that way, when you have fresh congresspersons, okay, they don't know how to read the legislation, and therefore they will be over-reliant on, lobbyists, as a matter of fact. Like, get the fuck out of here. No, they craft those relationships through fucking, no. They craft those relationships through years and years and years of work. That's precisely the reason why green congressmen are unironically, oftentimes, way better, with the exceptions of like Kirsten Sinema and shit, okay, then old institutionalized geriatric pieces of shit. What, you think you really going to tell me that Dianne Feinstein is a better legislator because she's been around since like, since writing was invented? Since the beginning of history? Is that what you're unironically saying? No. Lobbyists craft the legislation for old fucks just as well as they would try to craft it for young fucks. The point is, they want to save their fucking seats and they want to max out on their fucking wealth. Okay? She was there when they made the Rosetta Stone. Exactly. I mean, Dianne Feinstein is literally older than the invention of toasted white bread, okay? Sliced white bread as toast is unironically younger than Dianne Feinstein, bro. That's like not even a joke. That's not even a joke. Think about that. Feinstein was around when Jefferson wrote whatever the fuck Boebert is lying about. Yeah.
You haven't answered my question. So if you have
You cannot demand more responsibility.
Yesterday you supported
and then
Jordan.
Want less
Today you're supporting
Sean.
Donald.
That's not the way this works. We need a check and a balance on the third in line
Who
to
is
the
your
presidency.
Let's have a final answer.
Who
do you want to be Speaker of the House?
Maybe that's for the conference to decide. We need to come together.
Who do you want? I'm asking who you want.
What does it look like, life after Kevin? We need to find somebody who can actually unify the Republican Party. I have offered plenty of names. Let some other folks start offering other alternatives.
There are 203 people, and you have 20. I respect the 20 of you. I respect all of you. But I'm asking you, based on your own words,
you as well.
Who is your final? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want? Who will you only support to be Speaker? That's not that hard.
I am willing to have conversations with the Republican conference to come up with a consensus candidate. We are offering people right now. It doesn't have to be a member of the Freedom Caucus. It doesn't even have to be a solid conservative. But we have
more than
to have
half
those
the Freedom
tools
Caucus
in
supports McCarthy. So you don't have. You don't even have a name.
Because
and we're now going into day 3.
Afraid.
I hate this. I hate
when
it.
You are threatened
I hate it so much.
By committee of the Freedom Caucus. It doesn't even have to be a solid conservative, but we have
more than
to have
half
those
the Freedom
tools
Caucus supports McCarthy. So you don't have. You don't even have a name.
Because
and we're now going into day 3.
Are afraid when you are threatened by committee chairmen to not be placed by steering mitter.
Right, let me ask a final question. If your final candidate
on a committee, and then Kevin McCarthy affirms that, that's a scary place to be. We are here to legislate. We are here to get the country back on track. And when you have people making threats like that, it's difficult to make that decision. But we are going to get there. I am fine doing this. We're in day 2. It's okay. The government isn't spending money, sending it to Ukraine, so the American taxpayers are certainly winning.
Politically, Congresswoman, you and I agree on most things. We don't disagree on many things.
Yes, we do, Sean.
And I do have respect for you.
And I believe that history will show that I'm on the right side of this, Sean.
Well, you can believe in your position, but I'm using your words. You said to President Trump, you said, we're very clear. He doesn't have 218, so you need to ask him to withdraw. If by Friday, you and your group of 20 don't have a name with 30 votes, is it time for you to withdraw? And if not, why do you support a double standard? Last question.
Kevin McCarthy does not have 218 votes. Kevin McCarthy will not be Speaker.
And you have 20.
Kevin
asked you a very specific question. If by Friday
when we
you don't have 30,
I will not, Sean. I will not withdraw. Our asks were not petty of Kevin McCarthy. They were not self-serving. We simply were asking for commitments on what the American people want to see. They want to see a vote on term limits, a vote on the Texas border plan to secure the southern border. And for crying out loud, Sean, we asked for a vote on a budget that actually balances. Imagine a Congress that stops spending money that we don't have. We are going to get this right, and we are going to get the right Speaker, Sean.
If you only have 30, to be clear, you will not withdraw. 30 is
going to be a beautiful number to reach.
But you're telling Kevin McCarthy.
Dude, this is so funny. Like, oh, I love this, man. I love it. I'm sorry. I love it. They're like the most annoying shitheads. You know what I mean? They are the most annoying pieces of shit. And now they have like a little bit of fucking power, and they're getting a taste of it too. They're getting a taste of like flexing it. Oh, you can't stop them. Oh, it's awesome. What an incredible way to start the year. Even though fucking Twitch is not allowing me to do my job adequately. Holy fuck, it's so annoying, but
McCarthy and the 203 people that support him to withdraw because they don't have 218. That's what you're saying.
Look, it's obvious by tonight's motion to adjourn that Kevin McCarthy and his supporters are already getting voter fatigue. And
I asked you a simple question, Congresswoman. I feel like I'm getting a liberal
I'm not going
an
to
answer
support
from a
Kevin
liberal.
McCarthy, Sean.
Okay, so even if you only have 30 votes,
Kevin McCarthy,
you will not abide by what you told President Trump to abide by.
Which I don't believe I will be.
I feel like we've made progress.
Look, I love President Trump. You're not going to turn me on him. You're not going to pit him against me.
Not trying to pit him against you. That's what you said to him.
And I am standing.
Yeah, it was kind of ballsy that Lobo, who like basically is, you know, anything, an entity, a known entity is a consequence of Donald Trump. Like Trump made her, you know what I mean? Turning back on Trump this way, kind of fucked up. A lot of fake friends out there, man. Matt Gaetz did it too. Matt Gaetz fucking did that shit too. It's messed up, dude. It's messed up. This makes me wonder, is every person in our district also that stupid? I think there's a lot of stupid people. Langium, thank you for the 15 gifted subs. There's a lot of stupid people in our district. But they're not so stupid because like clearly they almost you know unseated her, so it can't be that bad. 20 never Kevers, 40 faces, yeah.
I have seen the broken trust. I have seen the lack of accountability. Well, we are getting phone calls saying that we need to stop this. Kevin does not have the votes for speaker. Period. We need to find a consensus candidate, get this right, and get our country back on track. Thanks so much, Sean.
Ay. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, the drama. Oh, I live for it. I'm sorry.
Then we immediately went into which we, at least a few people tried to caution.
It's up to 21 now? What the fuck?
McCarthy, please do not go straight to election votes. Let's take the next few weeks to unwind our thoughts and ideas with each other. And
all right, Donald Trump. Oh, by the way,
Senior
some fun
congressional
updates.
correspondent Chad Pergram, though, kicks us off live from Capitol Hill. Chad?
John, good afternoon. The House is now in the middle of a 7th vote for Speaker, but they're going to have an 8th vote. That's because there are enough votes to block Kevin McCarthy on this ballot. Now, just a couple of moments ago, we had a vote by Matt Gaetz for Donald Trump. Keep in mind that the Speaker of the House does not have to be a member. Now, the key in these roll call votes today is for Kevin McCarthy to demonstrate signs of progress. McCarthy has been stalled at 202 or 201 votes since Tuesday. He needs to get closer to 218. John James, a freshman of Michigan, nominated McCarthy. James said the GOP needs to learn how to win. And then he noted that he's a fan of the Detroit Lions. Now, Dan Bishop of North Carolina nominated Byron Donalds. If the House winds up in another lengthy vote series, members say that shows McCarthy lacks the votes. The problem for McCarthy is making concessions to one side and alienating others. Now, there are demands from McCarthy opponents for positions on key committees. They also reserve the right to call a speaker vote in the middle of the Congress if they don't like McCarthy. Now, here's something to watch. Potential absences that could either help or hurt McCarthy, depending on who is out. 1923, it took 9 votes to elect the Speaker. We're not quite there yet, but in 1923, it also took 3 days. This is day 3. Now, right now on the scoreboard, there are 14 votes against Kevin McCarthy. He can only lose 4 if we're at 434 members voting. And so that's the issue. We're at 14 votes, so we're going to go to an 8th vote here, an 8th vote. The question is whether or not they do that right away. Last night, we had an adjournment for several hours.
There is no way to explain, like you're 5, why some reps do not want McCarthy, because, like, you literally need to be a 5-year-old to understand. Like, it's not... Like, you need to have the operational capacity of a 5-year-old to begin with to make these choices. Like, there is no other way. I can't explain it to you like you're 7, if you ask me, because it's literally like they just don't like him, which is fine. I don't like him either. Fuck that guy. Okay? That's it. Yeah, he's just like, oh, he's a meanie bobini, and I no like him. That's it. And also, they have the ability to stop him, and that's pretty much it. That's literally it. They have the ability to stop him, so they're using it. That's it.
They came back.
Was he not right wing enough, dude? No. That's not a thing. That's not a fucking thing. Was he not right-wing enough? Yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, sure. The fuck do you mean was he not right-wing enough?
And then the House adjourned again. They voted to adjourn. You have to have enough votes to adjourn. You had McCarthy allies who wanted the adjournment. Democrats wanted to continue to embarrass McCarthy and show how he didn't have the votes, and they would have teamed with some of the McCarthy opponents. That vote to adjourn passed by one vote. It was a very close ballot, so it's unclear if they would even be able to adjourn or be compelled to continue to do this over and over and over again. Keep in mind that the rule is you have to keep voting until you get a Speaker of the House. And 3 days now of not having a House of Representatives fully constituted. John?
All right, Chad Perkin-Forrest watching all the action on Capitol Hill. Chad, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
20 is a big number. This isn't like a marginal thing.
He surrendered, says David Axelrod, on Kevin McCarthy's concessions. Ooh, they're bullying him. You hate to see it. You hate to have the guy who Obama uninvited from his birthday so we could have Beyonce and Jay-Z there shit on you like this on television, okay? Like, straight up.
3/4 of these people around. But let me tell you something. Jake said that he's made a cornucopia of concessions. He's surrendered. I mean, the truth of the matter is, whether the 20 want to accept it or not, they've won. They've won. Either McCarthy becomes a neutered, powerless speaker who has a sword of Damocles over his head, that could fall at any time because anybody in that body could call to vacate the chair, or someone else becomes speaker. But they have won this. I mean, the only thing that's left is for one of them to drive out with McCarthy's car and another one to wear his coat. And I mean, he's given everything away.
But Axe, do you think if you give in to these, if McCarthy gives in here, right, to these folks, whoever's next is going to experience the exact same scenario?
My concern is not for the Republican Party.
That's not even true. That's not even true. Those concessions are not important to them. No. If it was someone else, they would probably, if it was a consensus candidate as they're talking about, like if they could get someone who's interested in the position, right, who like the rest of the party is going to toe the line with regardless, right, then they would drop those things so fast. One of the concessions is literally to default on the debt, brother. There is no American Congress member who unironically wants that to happen. Like, they just don't want Kevin McCarthy. That's it. And at this moment, because like there is no, okay, this is important. I'm going to take a step back and explain something to you. Democrats at least have like some marginal policy positions that they are advocating for, that they want to do, okay? And when they have power, they try to push that. Republicans, when they have power, they have only one policy position that they want, okay? Tax cuts for the wealthy. That's it, right? That's precisely why when Donald Trump was president, they were like, they were kind of scrounging. They were like looking for new things to work on. So with the Democratic Party, they have to put forward spending packages. They have to fund Medicare, Medicaid, that sort of thing. Like, these are still, even if you don't agree with the Democratic Party, which I don't, even if you recognize that their position is ultimately to basically stop the leftist momentum from ever coming to fruition, like, ultimately they have like some policy positions, and for that you need, when you have a clear identified policy position, you need a Speaker of the House. You need like people to be able to, whip the votes and shit like that. For the Republicans, they have nothing. They're, especially because like it's currently a Biden administration, and they don't have the Senate, they don't have the presidency. So like they're just gonna stop other bills from coming down into the House anyway. So, like, they're just having fun with it right now. These 5 people, the Gang of 20, the Never Kevers, are just having fun with it. Because nothing. They have no tangible policy positions. They have no prescriptions to the problems that we're experiencing as Americans. And they're just going to block and push anyway. So that right now, they're just blocking and pushing while having fun with it. And personally, building their brands by presenting themselves as like anti-establishment. Yeah, they are filibustering for clout. Exactly.
My concern is for the country.
Right. Well,
I think this is going to be, this is a precursor of an awful couple of years.
Yeah. And that's a really important point because, again, giving all the things that he's giving away, not just at what cost, but what is that going to look like over the next couple of years?
Yeah.
If every day, every week, we are back here having to vote again, nothing is going to move. And, you know, the other thing I do want to say, this is exactly what the American people voted against. You have a handful of MAGA extremists, destructionists, I would call them, basically holding the United States House hostage over the things that they want, which are not the things that a majority of Americans voted for, who voted for, hey, we want you to get some things done, which, by the way, your former boss, Scott, Mitch McConnell sent a very strong message, it seems to me, to the House yesterday to say, I'm not going to play that game with y'all.
The House doesn't have to do a ton of stuff. It needs to pass a budget. We'll have to do the debt limit. It needs to pass appropriations bills. But those three things, if you couldn't wrangle these 5 to 10 people, then all of a sudden the Republicans are over begging Democrats for help. And by the way, the help won't come for free. You'll end up with Republicans having to give away goodness knows what to Hakeem Jeffries to get the votes to do the basic functionings of government, which no Republican voted for, I can assure you, anywhere in the country. And so that, to me, whoever becomes speaker here, I still think
God, it's just, I can't tell if I'm watching Fox News or CNN. Like, this is literally a oh my God. This shit is so frustrating to watch. It's like, dude, they're supposed to be like the objective name in news. And it's like, I don't know. I just like, they're basic. I mean, this guy is like very clearly a Republican, okay? A Republican talking head who is talking about how like a power sharing agreement would be awful for the Republican Party because no Republican voted for that. It's like, what are you? Oh my God. Bro, you saw their plans last year. They wanted this. I mean, yeah, it's just so awful. I hate liberal media. CNN hasn't changed. They always have been this way. They're just becoming more and more right-wing because America is super fucking right-wing, at least in the way that it churns out policy, okay? It's the sad fucking truth. There's not really much you can do about it, unlike the top of the hour ad break, which is also a sad truth. A 3-minute ad break comes and goes at the top of the fucking hour. But there is something you can do about it. You can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky, right? That is one thing you can do to avoid the ads at the top of the fucking hour. All right? Here's the 3-minute ad break now. It's coming to you. Milk Carton Kid, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Can you shut the fuck up and just play the ad? It's 3 fucking minutes long and your Prime shill makes it 5 minutes. No. Eggsabzy112, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Got a Fist, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Peachy Zach, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. All you motherfuckers saying true right now. I guess we're not there when we had numerous fucking conversations about segues. And whether I should keep them or whether I should automate them. It's not like I decided, I'm just going to do it like this. I have, time and time again, asked the community. And it was overwhelmingly in support of continuing segues. Not only that, but there is quite literally no, that wasn't just 2 years ago. We did it again when the new contract came, when I asked you guys. And not only that, but also on top of that, the segues have become a meme in and of itself. Okay, the segues have become a meme in and of itself. The debates have become a meme in and of itself. There's a literal bot in the chat that rates the segues. Like, it's firmly a part of the community culture. I guarantee most of the votes for the segue are from subs, though. Yeah, but who cares? Bro, I have almost 70,000 subs, okay? And I have 43,000 people watching in here. At any given moment, I have probably more subs in the chat than I have random non-subbed watchers. You understand that, right? So yeah, of course, if a subscriber is voting on it, their voices are going to be heard more. So yeah. Dana Rain, thank you for the 50 gifted. Holy fuck, 50 big ones.
McCarthy has a good chance, but what does this portend for the future?
Those discussions have happened, by the way, between moderate Republicans and some on the Democratic side who've expressed a willingness to consider it. But what they've been told is McCarthy doesn't want to do that because he feels, this is the box he's in. To cooperate with Democrats is a death sentence for him as well. So he's really in a terrible position.
Well, listen, I don't think it's going to be as bad as you'd like to see and predict. I think once you get the speaker, you're going to have robust oversight from Jim Jordan and the Judiciary Committee. You're going to have robust oversight of the border by whoever the chairman of Homeland Security is. There's going to be aggressive oversight.
Why is General Thumbo over here even talking about this? Like, I just don't understand. Like, who put General Thumb in charge of this conversation? CNN is so wild. They just have like a mishmash of like the most random motherfuckers on this panel.
As I said before, oversight by a majority of one feels exactly the same.
I'm not looking for chaos. No, I'm not. What I'm worried about is, for example, when the debt ceiling has to be
that's in August, right? Yeah.
And the Speaker of the House does the responsible thing and doesn't let the country default on its credit. That will almost certainly trigger one of these motions, and you'll have another one of these. We'll be all sitting around here watching the roll being
But that's
called.
been a Republican problem every time we approach the debt ceiling. Republicans struggle with that, right? So that's not a McCarthy problem.
But not at the risk of being.
Problem.
That's right.
Not at the risk of being deposed.
Right,
So just as we're hearing these in the back of our ears, and our viewers are hearing it as well. Matt Gaetz, who obviously has, is one of the never, has just voted for Trump.
Voted for Trump?
Voted for Trump.
Okay.
He's trying to get back in the good graces, I suppose, right? Maybe Lauren Boebert.
Jake says, is McCarthy cool? No, McCarthy fucking sucks. He's a California Republican. He's a giant piece of shit. But it's funny because, like, there are even shittier people in the Republican Party than Kevin McCarthy, who is a piece of shit, who agrees with, like, literally 100, not even 99%, 100% of the positions that all of the other 20 holdouts agree with, but they're just basically holding up the process specifically for clout for the most part. That's it. Like, Kevin McCarthy's a piece of shit. All Republicans are pieces of shit, right? All Republican politicians especially are pieces of shit. But these other Republicans that are basically holding up the process are holding it up for individual clout so they can just like disrupt the process from working, which doesn't really matter to me. I think it's funny. I love it. I'm watching it because the chaos is something I find particularly hilarious. And that's usually that's the reason why we're watching it, because it's cool. It's fun. It's fun. They're having fun.
Will vote for Trump too. She told him to kind of shut up and go away.
Well, that is a big issue here. He had no impact on these the purest MAGA congressmen.
Well, he's come out and said go for McCarthy. Right? He did.
Yeah, he had no impact, and not only did he have no impact, and then Boebert goes down to the floor and is ordering him around in public. I mean, it was kind of humiliating, truthfully.
Yeah. I mean, if I could predict.
Yeah, the TLDR is that the House can't go into session until they elect a speaker. 20 Republicans are holding it up so nothing can get done. But like the irony, of course, is that Kevin McCarthy's position as Speaker of the House and the Republican majority in the House is literally going to be holding up all the Democratic Party's policies or the rest of the Democratic Party's agenda. But when you even pull yourself away from this for a brief moment and remember the past 2 fucking years of the Democratic Party maintaining control of the House and Senate and their overall inability to get anything done from their fucking agenda, you realize, oh, this entire thing is a fucking spectacle. It doesn't even matter because the Democratic Party was cucking themselves anyway. It's not that they did nothing, but they proposed a lot and were able to get pretty much 10 to 20% of their proposals through. So that is my perspective on the matter, is that like Democrats had control over the House, they had control over the Senate, and they didn't really do that much with that power, right? And when Republicans took power in the House, when they took majority in the House, which is a slim majority regardless, they were going to stop the. Sorry, I'm looking at other shit on the side here. It turns out the Republicans are missing another representative now, Ken Buck, who missed the 9th ballot after traveling back to his state for a planned non-emergency medical procedure. Oh my God! Buck's office didn't detail a timeline for when he will return. Holy shit, dude! That is fucking. That's hilarious. McCarthy is hemorrhaging support, dude. Another one bites the dust. Oh my fucking Lord. Should they have predicted Sinema's heel turn? Yes, they should have. If you were in here watching me as I was covering that every fucking day, you would have heard some of the things I mentioned that the Democratic Party could have done and refused to do so because they like having a disruptive force within their ranks. They like having a rotating villain because they don't actually want to make material changes that will greatly benefit the American people, because the main benefactors are corporate benefactors. The real constituency that the Democratic Party, just like the Republican Party, cares about is corporations and moneyed interests and the capital owners in general. They do not give a fuck about you, okay? So when they have rotating villains within the Democratic Party, specifically in the Senate or even in the House of Representatives, if there isn't a large enough majority, they will do everything and anything to stop progress from within their ranks. And for everyone who keeps saying, so dude, what's the answer? What's the answer? What's the answer? I keep telling you all the time. At this stage, one of the main things you can do is instill class consciousness amongst your fellow working class members. A thing you can do is basically try to gain a level of autonomy in your workplace. And the only way to do that is by organizing in said workplace. This takes time. Okay, society only prospers when old men plant seeds for trees they will never sit in the shade of. So you have to do that. You have to put your best foot forward and build brick by brick the foundation of a better tomorrow. That's it. I'm not here to fucking soft serve it to you. I'm not going to tell you that things are going to be immediately good. There's like a magic pill solution, like Bernie Sanders is going to be the fucking president, and then everything is going to be magically, wafted away with a wand. That's not how that works. It doesn't. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Things are shit. And the best thing you can do is basically make it a little less shit. And have fun while you're doing it. Honestly, have fun. Enjoy life as best as you can. That's it. The term obese is a slur is so funny. All right, here is Don Bacon.
But people got to tell their congressman, if they're one of those 20, that the House is shut down. We're not working on the issues that we campaigned on, like lowering inflation, securing the border, supporting our law enforcement, standing up to China. None of this is happening. All our committees are now shut down, and it's on these 20 people. They're embarrassing the House, they're embarrassing the Republicans, they're embarrassing our country. So I think over time with focus, we'll get some of these over. But we also have to be willing to consider working with the Democrats at some point to get some work on some concessions to get some support there if these 20 refuse to budge. But people got to tell.
Oh, this is huge, by the way. Yeah, new investigative details released on Thursday provide the first clear view of the apparent movements of the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in early morning hours of November 13th. We're going to do that as well. Meanwhile, while that's happening, the 10th vote is also happening, okay?
Totally.
With 100% certainty.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Donald Trump will not be sending
And yes,
one vote
I am
to the
familiar. I know Bolsonaro's hanging out at a fucking Publix, which is a institution of the South, okay? Truly a profound, I mean, one of the greatest things that Florida has. I'll be honest. One of my favorite things, at least, is Publix. And Bolsonaro gets to experience that, even though he's a giant piece of shit and doesn't deserve to step foot inside of a Publix or even anywhere that is not a Brazilian prison. Okay.
You know, I was looking at a poll that came out this week.
I'll be back in a second.
There were ratings of various legislative leaders. Nancy Pelosi among Democrats was 73-19. Kevin McCarthy among Republicans, 42-33. It's not like he's a beloved figure among Republicans, so they're fighting over a guy. You know, no one wants to storm the ramparts for.
I mean, what Republican leader is? I mean, our sport is kicking the crap out of our own leadership. The Democrats have, you know, there's been internal wranglings, Karen, but, you know, ultimately you uplift your leaders. You know, you've uplifted Nancy Pelosi. But we're like crabs in a bucket. We have been for 12 years. One climbs to the top and everybody tries to drag them down. And by the way, there are consequences to that attitude, and we're seeing it today.
But also consider that Nancy Pelosi, I mean, because there's also a generational issue going on here with the 5 of the 20. I'm going to have to remember my numbers, right? In terms of how they view what their job really is. They view their job as getting clicks, raising money, creating chaos, not actually legislating.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah. But they're not actually interested in legislating. Pelosi understood where her caucus was, how to get people what they wanted, what they need. I mean, the fact that, for example, you have Kevin McCarthy just met with some of the freshmen, was it last night? He should have been doing that over the holiday to try to understand where the caucus was when he came in.
I don't think anybody here, these guys, anybody would disagree. Pelosi was a legislative genius. She was great at what she did. But there's a big gap between being a legislative genius and what we've seen these last few days, which has been a kind of parade of errors. You know, John F. Kennedy said in his inaugural address in a different context, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. That's a little of what's going on right now. Kevin McCarthy has been placating these people for years, and now he may end up inside.
Right now you are watching Kevin McCarthy headed to his 7th defeat in his efforts to be named to be elected Speaker of the House. He needs to win 218 votes. He can only afford to lose 4 House Republicans. He has already lost 10 House Republicans. We knew that was the likely outcome.
And he's losing more.
What we were looking for to see if there was any movement because of all the concessions he made when it came to rules and procedures, all the things that Congressman Chip Roy and some of the other rebels have been asking for. But as of now, I have not seen any of these individuals who claim to care about rules changes change their votes at all.
Right, and I think if you're watching at home, understand that each one of these votes sends a signal or a message. You don't actually have to know every single number which way. You just have to see, is it changing directionally? And Kevin McCarthy last night didn't want to have an additional vote at 8 o'clock because he said we need more time. It's been a whole...
He's officially at the precipice of losing the vote for the 10th time, by the way. They're talking about the 7th time. This is last night.
Curtis.
Yeah, McCarthy appears to lose the 10th speaker vote. Yes!
Jeffries.
Yes!
Davidson.
Yes! How are you not going to appreciate what's going on here? Come on, man.
All night, we're into the next day, and the numbers aren't
fucking
moving in the direction
loser.
we'd like. So what is the signal everyone else is trying to send is the question we should ask ourselves. And is there another demand or another name? And I don't know, everyone else here has cell phones with more people in it than me, but I don't know what the sort of want is at this point.
And let's bring in an ally of Kevin McCarthy, former Republican Congressman Rodney Davis of Illinois. First of all, Congressman, happy birthday. I can't imagine you would rather spend your birthday doing anything other than sitting in a room by yourself answering our questions when we choose to come to you. So happy birthday. But I have to say, I was told yesterday by a House Republican, a supporter of Kevin McCarthy, that the sudden move to adjourn at 8 p.m. last night after saying they were going to reconvene was because of fears among McCarthy allies, at least because of fears that someone was going to bring up Steve Scalise and nominate Steve Scalise. And you just heard Ken Buck a few minutes ago telling me that if McCarthy does not win this today, he will likely, or he will possibly put Steve Scalise's name as a nomination for the speakership. What do you think is going on right now?
Well, first of all, thanks for the birthday wishes. It's actually enjoyable to be alone in here than on the floor watching that circus if I was in Congress again. But in the end, I have not heard that that was the reason why they wanted to go to a conference and adjourn last night. I heard the reason that they wanted to adjourn last night, Jake, was to actually go negotiate.
Sure.
I've heard that they've had fruitful negotiations, but in the end, this vote is going to be a telltale sign, as many of you have mentioned all day, of whether or not there's going to be some changes. Look specifically at Chip Roy. If Chip decides to change his vote to McCarthy or present, that's progress. And if Chip can live up to the commitment to get 10 people to come with him, I think you'll start to see some pressure going.
This was last night when Chip Roy said he had the 10 votes, but nope.
McCarthy too.
Senior congressional correspondent Chad Perger.
We already covered this. Donald Trump was the new person that they put forward, which is pretty fire. Before we move on to some other news, obviously, let's celebrate the 10th vote that is lost.
McCarthy.
Hold on.
Fallon.
He's now a 10-time loser, which is, respect, actually. Manu Raju asks Kevin McCarthy about why he can't pick off any of the 20 R's. It's all going to be this way until an agreement comes. Okay? Asked why it's been so hard for him, McCarthy said, I think it's great. If you think it's so hard when it comes, I want to see what you write. He's like, nah, actually, all my losses are lessons, dude. That's what he's saying. He's like, nuclear grade copium on my man here. He's like, nah, you don't understand. It's actually fucking better that I'm being made a fool on live television and made to look like I have no fucking, I have no business being the guy whose job is to whip the entirety of the fucking House of Representatives. Because remember, the speaker in the House of Reps has one purpose, is to whip votes. To be the leader of the Republican Party, the most important leader right now because he actually has majority power in the House. He can't do it. Asked at what point will he make a realization that the outcome won't change, McCarthy told me, after I win. Isn't that what the whip does? Yes, the whip works at the behest of the fucking Speaker of the House, my friend. The fuck do you mean? Well, the whip whips, but I get your point. No. Guys, nobody talks about Dick Durbin when you're talking about the Senate. You talk about Chuck Schumer, okay? Even though Dick Durbin is Chuck Schumer's whip. Shut the fuck up. That's not how that works. The leader, the majority leader, is the important person here. That's the leader of the fucking party. Okay? Goddamn. Fucking, well, actually, Andy's over here trying to teach me basic political lessons here. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, actually, it's technically the whip. Hold on. Let's look at what Fox News is covering. I love tuning into Fox News randomly in the middle of the day because you know that the only time they actually cover this shit is during the day, and even then they rarely cover it. They cover it for a little bit during the day.
2 hours.
But overall,
if it's too late or where.
But overall, the you know, at nighttime they're like
Judge Janine.
the 5 is on. Ooh, the 5 is on.
Yeah, 10. How does it feel? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, my favorite.
Tell me about it. You know why? They're making the Republicans look ridiculous. First of all, I like Kevin McCarthy. Okay, why wasn't this done ahead of time? Why are we doing this in front of the public? We look like a bunch of fools. Okay, and Lauren Boebert, you know, with all due respect, I mean, the woman barely won her race. You're holding out until Kevin falls. What is the alternative? What do you want? What is the option? What can people agree on? You want the Republicans to vote to get the Democrats to get a Speaker of the House? Can you imagine Nancy Pelosi saying, let me get some Republicans so that I can be the Speaker. I can put them on committees. This is an embarrassment. And I got to tell you that it's gone on long enough. It shouldn't have happened this way. He's done everything. You're lowering the threshold to boot him to one person to get a vote to boot him out of Congress. This guy raised $250,000. Half these people voting against him. How much?
Billion. He raised $250 million.
Okay, but for the House.
Right.
Okay, all right. And these people that he gave money to are voting against him. What do they want? They have no other alternative. They're egomaniacs who've got no answers, and they ought to just be quiet and just go along with the majority at this point. If you don't want to vote for a bill, don't vote for it. And that's the end of it.
I shouldn't even go to you, Harold. You know, this is our thing. We're going to keep this in the family, so I'm going to go to Dana. Dana, your thoughts now on this 10th no vote.
Well, it's the longest staring contest in history. My sister and I used to have these in the back seat of the car, and I was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would not blink. And it feels like this is what everybody is taking in. And I just don't see how this ends for a while. I mean, maybe they go away for the weekend, and they didn't take my advice. Nobody got a drink together last night.
Good idea.
I do think it's interesting that Kevin hasn't lost anymore either. Right, so you keep getting the same result over and over again. So the holdouts aren't getting what they want, and the 200 or so that are with Kevin McCarthy right now are staying. And it could be that apparently there is some progress perhaps with the ones who are not the never Kevins, but the ones who want some significant changes, including one of the things that I'm asking for is to have some people jump the line of seniority in order to get some committee posts. I mean, is that fair? I don't know. I would imagine that if it happened to them, if they got skipped over, they'd be furious about it, right? And they would say, oh, this is the establishment doing this to us. So the feelings are going to get even more raw, I think, as this continues on. However, it just felt like there was a little glimmer of hope that maybe this could get done by next week, I guess.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's not going to. I don't think it's going to end tomorrow.
You're pretty good with predictions.
I don't know. I had a terrible year last year. I'm 1 for 1 this year so far.
All right, Greg. We know you have a lot of dogs in this fight. How does this end?
Well, I'm running out of things to say, and so I'm looking through my notes. Like, what have I not said? And I found a few things. So if you bear with me, I'm officially tired of people saying this is the first time in 100 years. This is the first time in a century. You know what else hasn't happened in 100 years? 1923.
Yeah. Do we have anything else in those notes?
No, that's it. That's it. No.
Wow.
I keep
Brilliant.
looking up on the TV, and it's like the opposite of a telethon. You know, the sick patient gets less help. People are calling and saying, we want our donation back. I feel bad for McCarthy. This cannot be good for your ego. Every hour you lose basically what is literally a popularity contest.
This is very important because this is the main propaganda arm, the main communication arm of the Republican Party openly shitting on the Republican Party. Okay? That's very, very big for the Republican Party and the way it's being seen by the by the population.
Tedious. You know, you guys, you made your point. You're basically putting everybody on notice. That's good. Healthy quarrel. We like that. It's democracy in action. It's transparent, but at the same time, it's tedious. We're getting bored with it. However, I like that it takes up all the time of politicians. Maybe this is how the only thing politicians should be doing is voting on whether they're still a politician, right? That way they'd be checking their constituents more than checking Twitter. Right? If they're like Democrats might actually care about the border and about crime if they could be voted out every single day. And maybe the Republicans would do something about fentanyl if they could be voted out every day. So I say let's do this forever and ever. And just because I want to see Cavuto cover it every single day.
And it's like so true. All right, Hale, just keep it short.
Independent voters who voted for Republicans voted for them on crime and border, inflation, gas prices. I can't imagine this is what they thought they were voting for. As I think about this, and you look at it, I agree with most, if not everything that's been said. You've got 21 people, 5% of the Congress, has decided they're not going to allow half of the legislative branch to be seated and to get to work on the things that independents and Republicans, and I would even argue some Democrats, voted for Republicans in the House to do: the border, crime, inflation, energy, giving us more certainty. There's some things I agree with them that we can't get to. It seems very personal with some of these people. It's almost like if you're in a football team and the wide receiver looks at your girlfriend the wrong way, so you don't throw him a pass. He's your best player. You're not going to throw him a pass to the team.
I'm running the ball every down.
The team could win. These guys seem like they didn't get invited to the prom or something, so they're still upset about those that didn't invite them to the prom. They're blaming Kevin McCarthy. So what I would do if I were Kevin McCarthy at this point, I think you have to be serious about, and all the Republicans and Democrats have to be serious about isolating those 21 people who don't want to be part of the Congress. So they should all come together and figure out whom they want elected. Probably will be Kevin. But Kevin, I'd scrap the deals he's worked with those 21 and go work a deal with some Democrats. And go work a deal with them. Because if I'm listen to me, he can't win without them. The 201 Republicans, or whatever the number is, they're the ones who should feel most affronted by what he's doing in terms of caving into those 21 Republicans. Because they cut deals with him a long time ago and said, wait a second, why are you cutting a deal with these guys? You can't even count on them to vote for you. He did a deal, and not one of them has voted for him. I feel bad for him in that regard, but this should have been done, to your point, Judge, before all of this went to the floor.
What does he have to promise a Democrat in return? Does he have to put him on a committee? I mean, how bad is the back and forth?
I don't know, but one thing I think for certain, if he worked a deal with Democrats and Democrats didn't uphold the deal, I'd criticize the daylights out of the Democrats. The fact that more people are not criticizing these 20 Republicans who said if you do these things, I know, but everybody's not. If you do these things, we'll vote for you. Some people are celebrating them as heroes. They're not heroes. You know what they are? They're the most incompetent, cruelest deal makers I've ever seen.
That was not short.
They're not a deal. They're not.
We asked you to be short, and that was not short.
They're obstructionists.
All right, let's go.
I thought you meant long.
Ahead. Prosecutors released gruesome new details as the Idaho murder suspect makes his first.
Oh, no. They're obstructionists. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Off the floor there and to our cameras where you're standing, Jay. And Sessions has voted for Kevin McCarthy every round of voting since this started and has actually attempted to convince many of his no McCarthy friends to come to some type of compromise. Here's a look back at the conversation we just had, and then we'll dissect it. Congressman, can you hear me okay?
I can. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good, great. Well, Congressman, I have known you a long time. We have raised a lot of money, negotiated a lot of deals for the Down Syndrome Foundation, among other things, including our military and our veterans. I know that you know what it takes to make a deal. And while I have you now, and while you are watching basically
it's 21 now.
Historic
21,
dysfunction as
21.
it's been described here
21.
On the floor.
Can you do something for me?
With regard to where this is going and what is the outcome here for Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I think you hit the essence of it. It is about Kevin McCarthy. It has taken us a couple rounds. We're now in, I think, round 9 to figure out that these 20 people will stay as long as it takes, yell as loud as they need to yell, and to keep Kevin McCarthy from being the next speaker. Now, with that said, they've raised during this period of time lots of issues, lots of flags, lots of different people that they've supported. It is time that we...
It's funny, they have to keep handing it to them when the guys are just like very transparently lashing out for no fucking clear reason with no clear purpose. And they have to keep handing it to them because what they're doing is basically obstructing. And they also know that there is like a base of support for that kind of behavior. What the fuck? Is it effing again? I'm going to lose my mind.
But that's where we are, and this will continue until there's some change at that measure of who would replace Mr. McCarthy.
So, Congressman, I know that you are close to many of the no McCarthy folks. So, and you want to see a compromise here. What have you been telling them? And could you tell me with whom you have spoken to directly and what you have told them directly?
Well, I think it's important and you're entitled to draw that conclusion because most of it is true. Most of it is true that I have who are in this conference, including my little brother, Ken Buck. But Ken Buck, who I put on the Rules Committee, sees very clearly that hard work has to take place, and that requires a strong Rules Committee with strong members. It's not a no vote, it's working through things. The things that we have right now are a group of people that are raising up extraneous matters, not the essence of what they really want. Oh, I think they did make progress last night in dealing with Mr. McCarthy. They talked about some of the campaign money that he had spent, including in primaries. So I think that's part of the bitterness, but that would seem to be resolved. So the question is, okay, if you are not going to, if you're simply going to fight Kevin, what is your own alternative? And always in any debate, the question comes up, we know what you're against, what are you for? And I think that the reason why I support Mr. McCarthy is that I have not only a good handle on what he's for, but I felt like we had pushed Mr. McCarthy enough to where he saw how
Dude, the fucking the always Keviners are so boring. That's one thing that they're losing right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're losing the fucking fight because, like, the always Kevin guys are nowhere near as entertaining as the never Kevers. You know what I mean? The never Kevers are insane. The never Kevers are unhinged. But they're telegenic. They go on television and they just fucking screech. Okay? They need to bring Marjorie Taylor Greene to the forefront. If you want to gain some momentum on the pro Kevin side, you got to have Jewish space lasers, okay? You got to talk about fucking insane unhinged shit. You got to talk about how Nancy Pelosi is trans and we need to do a trans investigation. Like, you need shit like that. They got no momentum. It's boring motherfuckers who are like, I'm a bureaucrat from Alabama and I want to make sure that we continue to vote for the other bureaucrat. Make it more fun. There's no content. MTG is the only one. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. MTG votes for McCarthy every round. She is their most loyal soldier. She is the only one who's like at least a little bit fucking entertaining and telegenic. Not this boring fucking bullshit, dude. Yeah, all the Keviners have no swag, and the never Kevers have all the swag. This is a problem. Get Brian Donalds in here. Or Bryson, whatever his name is. Like, get him on. Get him on the fucking dial. Be like, why are you voting for Kevin McCarthy when the never Kevers think you are a better figure to be Speaker of the House? Like, ask him that question. Byron? Yeah. I don't even know his fucking name because he's just some random fucking dude from Florida. You know what I mean? Like, there are forever Kevers out there and there are never Kevers out there, okay?
fine, except we don't know what these 20 want also. Otherwise, this will continue perhaps with Mr. Scalise. And that is a bad sign. We need to figure out what their idea is about a speaker that they really want to support that would play with easily 200 other Republicans. And I think it's possible that we could get to that, but they have to make that decision. So,
oh my God, it's over. When you have a forever Kever literally stating we need to find a separate person that all 200 Republicans are going to be interested in voting for, it's done. The never-kevers are winning.
That they will get. What do you think? Where is the deal going to be made? What do you think it's going to come down to where a deal is made and they will get what they want in order to come to a deal with Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I didn't say they would come to a deal with Kevin McCarthy. I think we've got it. I think our membership has it that Mr. McCarthy is that issue, and that's a non-starter for them. What I'm trying to suggest to you is we need to find out what is not their starter, what is their best effort of what they're willing to do, and it needs to be a sit-down where they negotiate how we're going to get to 218, and I think it's possible. What gives me that confidence? Being in Congress, working in private sector for 16 years, a deal is always possible. Things are not as bad as we think they are, nor are things as good as we want them to be, and we got to find somewhere in between. So I believe it's possible. I have confidence in my colleagues because we got to get on with our work.
Will it be done?
Do I think Kevin McCarthy will win? I don't know. And I am openly telling you that anyone who confidently predicts what is happening right now is lying to you. Anything could happen. Okay? You could have numerous Republicans unironically have to go back home because like family emergencies and a flood or whatever the fuck, okay? And then not reach quorum and then have Hakeem Jeffries win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there are so many different, there are so many things that could potentially happen because basically at this very moment, okay, at this very moment, the main reason why Kevin is not being voted in as Speaker of the House, there is no, how do I describe it? There is no like ideological purpose for this. There is no clear-cut goal. So when the guys don't have like an actual goal, when the people who are like holding this process up, or have no clear, tangible no association, no clear, tangible goal, anything could happen. Tomorrow they could decide, all right, we're done with this. We wanted to wait until January 6th to stop the process. We're voting. But what I do know is that Kevin McCarthy, for one reason or the other, keeps saying, without any new negotiations or whatsoever, that like, oh, we're going to have a deal. 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 But there's no deal. However, here's another one of these instances where sources tell us the deal between McCarthy and his opponents is closed. Chip Roy and Patrick McHenry have been negotiating it. All the big players are now in Tom Emmer's first floor office. Ralph Norman says he expects an offer in writing tonight. Oh my God, dude. Holy fuck. I got so fucking scared. It's Marat. Jesus Christ, dude. Now, of course, what is different today? They said this last night with Chip Roy. They said this the day before. They kept saying that, like, a deal is near, a deal is near, a deal is near. It doesn't seem like it, but we'll see. At this moment, McCarthy has 4 options. Flip enough holdouts to win, basically 17 to 21. Work with Democrats to get to 218, give them good committee ratios, other powers. Move to a plurality threshold, or drop out. Problems for McCarthy are flipping 17 members who already voted against him 9 times seems unlikely. Working with Democrats is a political disaster for him. The base will go nuts. Plurality is very risky. Jeffries could win. So that leaves drop out. And that's basically where we're at this point. Dem leadership huddle right now as they're reporting GOP will try to adjourn after this vote.
Then we immediately went into, which we least a few people tried to caution leadership or Mr. McCarthy, please do not go straight to election votes. Let's take the next few weeks to unwind our thoughts and ideas with each other. And that's where this process got off guard, and it became.
If they clear the threshold for a plurality, which I don't know how this works. Also, ew. See, American politics, baby. Two of the worst scumbags talking to one another from across the aisle. You know what I mean? Both from Florida, of course. So the thing is, fuck was I gonna say? I totally forgot. God damn it. I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. Murat, you scared the shit out of me, bro. Oh, the plurality one would be a power move because it's like, hey, to all the holdouts, he would be. I don't know what the hurdles are to clear that, to make it so that it, like, a majority. Oh wait, I'm actually misreading that. There's no way to, like, switch it over to just a majority, right? I mean, plurality, right? I don't know what the how you actually put it to a vote. I don't know how you would put it to a vote to just turn it into a plurality. But if that is something that's in his powers, which I assume they could do, I don't know how they fucking change the rules without a speaker, but let's say they do that, right? Let's say they do that for this individual vote. This would be a power play by Kevin McCarthy to say to the Never Kevers, hey, Hakeem Jeffries has won the plurality every single time. Not the majority, because the majority is in control of the Republican Party, but he's won the plurality every single time. So, I'm making you put your money where your fucking mouth is. You're going to not vote for me? Well, then you're voting for Hakeem Jeffries. And at that point, things would get really fucking spicy. It would be very sexy. It would be very cool. Especially because at that point, if the holdouts don't vote for Kevin McCarthy, then you literally have Hakeem Jeffries be the Speaker of the House because he's won the plurality every single time. And the Freedom Caucus guys are so insane that they might unironically say, fuck you. And I guess basically that's the reason why he hasn't done it, because he's, like, legitimately worried. I suspect he is legitimately worried that, like, you can't really play chicken with insane people. You know what I mean? Because they might actually call your bluff and go along with it.
Game. I only need 5 of them, as we've said, to hold out. It isn't an equal negotiation. He wants.
This is cope for real, but I love it. Wait, what do you mean? There's no copium here. I mean, the situation is chaotic. The situation is fucked. I'm just reporting on it, on what the options that Kevin McCarthy has. At that stage, if he goes to plurality, if he votes for a plurality, and then the most likely scenario is those Republicans will cave. At least, like, not all of them, but enough of them will cave.
Position. The holdouts, where they can deliver all the votes. They don't think that they even control that. That's a problem. If you're standing in Kevin McCarthy's shoes, maybe the window is already closed on that possibility. But if there's a negotiation out there that has some members of Congress sitting it out, others changing their votes, still others negotiating rules packages and the like, it is going to be quite a dance for Kevin McCarthy to complete. And again, at this hour, even though there's new stirrings of negotiations, we don't have any details on that, and no guarantees that any negotiations, any new deal gets enough votes back on board for Kevin McCarthy. He does not have 218 as of this hour.
What did you think, just to follow up on what you said about Steve Scalise, about what Pete Sessions said to me when I asked him, does there come a point where you walk up to Kevin McCarthy and say, friend, sir, buddy, you know, with all due respect, it's time to withdraw and let Steve Scalise move in?
Frankly, I think the biggest thing going for Kevin McCarthy is that neither Steve Scalise nor anyone else has the votes right now. The folks who are holding out on McCarthy have voted no. They voted for different candidates no. They have split their votes in a couple of different ways. They've moved them around. They voted for Trump. They voted for a former member of Congress and Lee Zeldin at one point. They have not put forward a viable, reasonable alternative, which is a big frustration to loyalists of McCarthy, including Congressman Sessions. I think personally, if McCarthy, even McCarthy allies, thought that
For the record,
that Steve,
for people saying, isn't this the moment for Donald Trump to whip votes? He's been trying. Now, Trump, if there's anything Donald Trump is good at, other than having a fat ass, it's his endless ability to read the room. And right now, he's like trying to get the never Kevers to shut the fuck up and vote for Kevin, but he's not able to do so. And not only that, but he's waiting for Tucker Carlson. He's waiting for the other right-wing operatives that are more populist, that have a better grasp on like what the most psychotic people in the fan base want, what the MAGA fan base wants. So before he gets a better understanding of like how unpopular Kevin McCarthy is, to the Trump supporters, the crazy ones, okay? He's not gonna come out and speak on it on Fox News. It could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, but so far he's only tried to whip the votes through Truth Social, and the reality here is that he's lost a lot. Finally, just to release the video about you stealing his content, by the way. No, he didn't. He talked about a fucking botted channel that is literally not related to me. Do you want to know why I know that? And do you want to know why you are literally like one of those fucking weirdos who thinks they're a puppet master? Because I'm talking to Pineley personally. Like, I've been talking to Pineley since the beginning of this process and working alongside him to deal with the issue. Why are you like this? Do you think that you have some way to like cause drama and create drama in between two people that are already communicating with one another? Why is it that this is the only platform where this happens, by the way? Straight up. The only platform where people will turn around and be so sad, so pathetic. They're like, I'm kind of bored with this, politics stuff. Let's get to like me making additional drama for you. It's such a weird thing for chatters to do, where they think they're like puppet masters.
This is sending.
Yeah, the wrong message, without question. We've talked about Frederick Gillett several times during the course of our coverage. Frederick Gillett was the speaker who was finally became speaker after 9 ballots in 1923, 100 years ago. So this is, this is unprecedented, at least in over 100 years now. So as I mentioned before, Kira, without question, it's an embarrassment. And not only is the nation watching, but the world is watching the dysfunction in our government. Again, hopefully we will see the Republicans come together. I don't know what it will take to bring those 20 recalcitrant Republicans into the fold for the Republicans, but certainly Kevin McCarthy and the elders that you talked about before will have their challenge.
Mary Ellis, do you want to make your best guess?
No, but my only guess right now is that we need to buckle in for a long night. I mean, one thing I'm hearing from Democratic sources is that they are once again not interested in helping Republicans adjourn. They believe that this is the people's business. It needs to get done. Republicans need to get this done. And we saw last night how many Republicans also, especially in that kind of defector group, voted to not let them go home. So I think it's quite possible we're in for the long haul tonight.
So, all right. So if we're in for the long haul, how long are we talking? I mean, are your sources saying that they definitely want to wrap this up by tonight, not go in tomorrow, not go into the weekend? I know we're reading through the tea leaves again, but we're just trying to get some sort of sense. It seems like depending on who you talk to, you're getting different we're getting different messages. Okay. Hold it. We're going to go ahead and take a listen. We're going to get the final count here and see what happens next, see if we move into the 11th vote. So she didn't give a breakdown yet. Oh, here we go. These are the folks that weren't there that she's going to call out and get votes from. Let's listen. Yeah.
McCarthy.
It's Representative Bacon. All right. So Mary Alice, you still with me?
Vice.
I think that what I was saying is that basically Democrats, as well as some of those, defectors in the Republican Party, are willing to buckle in now and really not, like we saw last night, they want to vote against adjourning and against going home. The Democrats I'm talking to especially believe that this is important work, that it sends a bad message. If
they want to keep it
home,
going, baby.
They want
Let's
to
go.
make Republicans deal with this and figure this out. Now, the fact that the Kevin McCarthy camp is sending out smoke signals to reporters that they're working on a deal, that they're close to a deal, that people have been huddling behind closed doors on a deal, that suggests to me that they would like to tell everyone things are okay and calm down, and if we go home, we'll figure this out. So I think probably in the next few hours we'll see a little bit of that back and forth about whether or not to adjourn, but we don't know if McCarthy will have the votes to adjourn like he did last night.
Jay, breaking news from the Hill there. Possibly a deal could be made.
So here's what we know right now at this hour, Kira. We know that Ralph Norman, who is one of the McCarthy holdout votes, one of the original Never McCarthy votes from just after the election, has just walked into Majority Whip-elect Tom Emmer's office.
Say it right. Say it right. It's never Kevers and forever Kevers.
There have been meetings going on in Emmer's office for the entire afternoon trying to hammer out some kind of a deal. And Norman told reporters as he walked into Emmer's office that he's going to look at a deal, an offer right now. It's not a deal that's been agreed to. It's not a deal that has support of all of the McCarthy holdouts, certainly. But it appears from what Norman is telling reporters outside of Tom Emmer's office, bear with me, it's a little convoluted, that there is some offer. I think my colleague outside says it's on paper, meaning there's an offer. There's an offer on the table to the McCarthy holdout votes. Now we see if there are enough Never McCarthy votes, McCarthy holdout votes, who go for this offer and perhaps change their support to Kevin McCarthy. He can only forward, as we've been saying over the course of this entire process, to lose 4 Republican votes. So if there are 5 Republicans who do not like this deal, Kira, then McCarthy goes back to the drawing board and has to figure out a way to get to 218. But we've been hearing from McCarthy allies that it is their hope that they're able to pick off this opposition vote one by one with major concessions, and with this deal, which appears to be on the table, not agreed to, but certainly on the table. I can tell you, I've heard from sources who say, a deal is close, some kind of an agreement is close. There should be some kind of conversation about it and release of the exact specifics of it as early as tonight. But to caution everyone with this, Kira, even if there is a deal, it still has to be enough to get Kevin McCarthy to 218. There can be an offer from Kevin McCarthy. It could be accepted from some of the members, but each member has their own vote. So if it's not enough to convince 218 members of Congress, a large chunk of those 20 holdout votes, to go Kevin McCarthy's way, that would be good for Kevin McCarthy. It would mean he would pick up support, but it wouldn't get him all the way across the goal line. So the question Kevin McCarthy and his team have tonight is what they're offering enough to get their guy over the goal line and to get the Speaker's gavel, Kira.
Okay, so news there from our Jay O'Brien through sources sort of alluding to what Pete Sessions was saying in our interview, Jay. Rick Klein, it looks like, let's listen in for a second, see if she's going to give a breakdown here. Rick Klein, stay with me because I want to get you to weigh in more on timing and also this offer that appears to be on paper.
Enough is enough. I will become Speaker of the House if you guys want me to, okay? Time to put my name down.
Is going again. What do you make of the timing that they're going to keep going well into the night? And now, as Jay is saying, possibly there is an offer to these holdouts on paper. Can you hear me, Rick? All right, we're having some issues getting connected with Rick Klein. Pop in. Mary Alice, can you hear me? Okay, we've got some technical issues with our correspondents. We're going to take a quick break. Nothing's happening at the moment, but as soon as we get fired up again with all our correspondents and our political team, we'll take you back live there to the House floor as the next vote may soon get underway. Quick break, more news on the other side.
With With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
After an extraordinary news-making year, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
Oh my God, what the fuck is this?
Fire. They not just sneakers.
What the fuck? Dude, have you guys ever watched TV ads?
Who want to reshape the culture of the game of golf from a black standpoint.
This shit sucks, but like ads on the internet suck, but like sometimes when I was in Vegas at the casino, like I literally sat in the room and watched TV. First of all, the ad breaks are insane, okay? Like here we have top of the hour ad breaks, right? Which come at the top of every hour, and there's a way for you to skip them. At the top of every hour is a 3-minute ad break. You can skip them by basically subscribing for $5 or for free, right? You know, all you need to do is if you don't have $5, all you need to do is connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, right? And you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky, right? Like that's just the way to do it. If you're an Oiler, you can, share the wealth with other people, I guess. But ultimately, my point is, DJ Kento, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. I am fascinated with television commercials. I think TV commercials, especially are very different than what you get on the internet. And there is a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot that goes on on TV commercials that I find interesting, I guess. The Great Pudini, Isidorius, Mind of Boom Boom. Thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing a total of 20 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Excuses, ads, or TV ads? What do you mean? This is a real post from Donald Trump on Truth Social. What the fuck? Is he saying he should be the speaker and this is what he would do if he was the speaker? TV ads are about shows. YouTube ads are about products. CNN is talking about Trump being speaker. I know this is off topic to bring up, but I was watching your nepotism video and I was wondering if you working with dad and he has connections, is that with jobs? Would I be considered as nepotistic? Dude, try that again. What the fuck? Prince Harry had a frostbitten penis at Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding? What? Why do we know that? Like, is that real? Classic Crusader King injury? Wait, really? Harry also said he killed 220. Wait, what? How many? Also, Harry said he killed 25 Talibans. Yeah, I don't fucking believe any of that. That's cap. It's all blowing up because apparently William and Harry had a fist fight or something. Dude, I don't fucking care. I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, oi bruvs. You already lost your shot when the queen fucking died, okay? Stop trying to make Harry a thing. Here in America, we got more important issues like, will there be a Speaker of the House? How many more votes could Kevin McCarthy stand to lose? You know? He said Will and Kate told him to wear the Nazi uniform. Here at Twitch, we also have literally the main issue, which is effing. The platform keeps fucking falling apart. Okay? Harry wrote in his new book review, his Todger was frostbitten following a March 2011 expedition to the North Pole. That wasn't the only pole that was frostbitten that day, if you know what I mean. Harry, his North Pole was frostbitten as well. They're pausing votes for taco time. District taco is a bipartisan tradition. A lot of district taco has been taken to the Tom Emmer's office where McCarthy holdouts are reviewing the text of a potential deal and more tacos for the Dems. Ugh. Circumcised confirmed. Sheathed boys would have been fine. I don't know. I mean, if he's on the fucking North Pole, like, did Hasanabi talk about Pinley's video claiming you stole his video? I watched it and he has a good point. These people are not a part of this community. These people also definitely have not watched the video. I haven't watched the video either, but I know for a fact that he didn't say I stole his video. But that person doesn't care. If you watch the video, then you probably saw 5 instances where Pinley openly mentioned that he liked that I was reacting to his video, that I was bringing audience members to his channel. Did you watch the video on mute? Was your first point immediately after watching this video to come here to be like, hey, why don't you start drama with someone who you like? Is that your goal? Do you truly care about something? Or is the only thing you care about creating chaos? He said nice things about you. He didn't say you stole it. He said the clip channel did. I know. I think like there are people in this community that are permanently brain rotted and like have no other speed than drama speed. You know what I mean? They're just only operating on drama speed. Okay. Or they're like fans of the fuck Hassan proposition or the fuck Hassan position. Or they just simply do not have any kind of media literacy and can't consume content and actually understand the larger point. Let's look. Oh no, he likes seeing me game. What are you doing? I'm banned. Come on, dude. No, we can't be losing out on game watchers, dude. No, don't unban. What do you mean? Time him out, but that's it. Don't unban. Don't fucking ban them. The fuck favoritism is this? It's called He's a Gaming Watcher. He said, game time, let's go. I like seeing Hasanabi game. Yes, he's a gaming frog. That deserves, even if he's a drama frog, that deserves a lenient response. It's called He Follows All Your Haters. Okay. You can clap them then.